Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Damara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is the full moon in Leo report for this full moon coming up January 25th, 9:54 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, I want to drop right in. First thing I want to say, if you haven't already listened to the weekly forecast, I would listen to the weekly forecast because there's a couple other things happening. And then I would also listen to, if you have a moment, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes to listen to the report about Pluto moving into Aquarius. These things are really important. This is a really big week of astrology. Like we are starting off 2024 with a huge bang, with lots of changes, moving into a new era, like literally a new era for the next 20 years. So it's kind of a big deal. So I'm going to invite you to do that because when I talk about the full moon, this is really just generally speaking, right? So this isn't going to trigger or target or trigger you in the exact same way as it may affect someone else because all of our charts are different. So I'm going to give you like this general sweep of what's happening and maybe how you can work with this energy. But I'm going to invite you to listen to the other reports too. So first things first, I want to share my screen because this helps me to just see everything that's going on at one time. Okay. So the moon is full because why? Because it's directly across from the sun at the same exact degree. That's just how it works. So the sun's over here in Aquarius, just moved into Aquarius, and there's Pluto. Pluto moved into Aquarius right along with the sun, with this full moon. And so we have moon in Leo. So this is just how it works. You'll notice that we have all these planets over here. That's fine. But I want you to understand that every full moon really is an opportunity to purge, to let go, to say to ourselves, okay, here were my intentions for the new moon. Now, where am I at with that? What, not maybe what can I check off, but what have I been paying attention to and where can I let go of some things that will allow me the space to stay with my disciplined energy, which is really the energy still from the new moon in Capricorn. So, every full moon is different. It's based on the energy of where the moon is, but it's also based on where all these planets are. So every single full moon is different because all the planets aren't in the same spot. However, there's certain planets that move really stinking slow, like Uranus, still in Taurus, Neptune, still in Pisces. However, Neptune will move out, in the next several months. Neptune's going to move out. So that's going to be totally different energy. Um, Big thing with this full moon is this guy over here. I talked a little bit about it in my weekly forecast, but Mars and Mercury, Mars and Mercury together create an energy of quick tongue, right? So reaction. So just be mindful. Um, this can also really create beautiful, deep conversations that are truthful and loving and supportive. Because Mars and Mercury together want that clear communication. Just make sure when you're speaking that you're not coming from a place that is quick-tongued. Just think about, what you want to say and how you want to say it. But having this beautiful full moon with all of this energy and this new Pluto era in Aquarius, this is really a beautiful invitation to purge so that you can truly live from your most passionate expression, and I say that wholeheartedly, um, just because this is what's important to me in this lifetime. I have shared this same thing in every single teacher training and every single workshop. Like, live your life according to um your way of being, your truth, I guess, and follow your passions without hurting other people. But I feel like what happens in our life is we compromise, all of us. I have compromised too for whatever reason. And then always what happens in that compromise is what? Later on down the road, we get tripped up. We're like, dang, why did I compromise? This Leo full moon wants you to look at your life and say, what really makes my heart sing? And I am going to purge the things that don't. I'm going to hire an assistant. I'm going to, let go of that relationship. I'm going to let go of that job. I'm going to do all the things that will give me the space that I need to truly follow what I love. And so that's what this full moon is about. This is about living from joy. This is about living from our hearts. This is about living from our deepest levels of passionate expression. Um, and so what I would say is ask yourself these questions, right? Like, what sparks my flame? What helps me to get up in the morning? What is this? What is it that I am still holding on to that is keeping me from that? Maybe there's a resentment, maybe there's a fear that you have about um, what other people will think or what you will lose if you fully express yourself. Ask yourself, how can I make time for the things that I really love to do? Because I hear it from everybody so often, like, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I can't do that, I'm too busy, I'm too busy. Man, I hope I don't say that in my life, because um, then we're just running through life on autopilot, right? So with this full moon is like, what is it that you really want? And where are you? Where are you keeping yourself from what you really desire? And I'll just tell you, it has nothing to do with anything outside of you. And I know that we um, can blame it on our jobs or our ex-partners or our responsibilities, but it's not true. It's really not true. And this Leo full moon wants us to sit in our hearts and just say, what is it that you want? And in fact, this is like one of the most powerful moons because of all the other planets, but especially where Chiron and the North Node are, they're right next to each other. What does that little child in me want that brings joy? Remember when you were a kid and you were like, oh, just doing all the things that you loved, right? And all we wanted to do was grow up. And then now that we're grown up, we're just too busy. This Leo full moon is about asking that little sweet kid, what do you want? Not what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want? What makes you happy? What makes you happy? What's your passion? What is it that, and if anybody says, well, you can't do anything with that, you need to just tune them out. Maybe that's something that needs to purge, right? So with this full moon, really sit down, take some time, ask yourself, what do I really want? And what am I doing in my life that is keeping me from these things? Because joy and love are the highest octaves of living. When we are in our joy, when we are in our passion, when we are in love with ourself or with another or what we're doing, time flies. It's not even like tangible. And not only that, but that resonance that we're exuding out into the world when we're in our joy is attracting everything else to us. And it's the most powerful frequency that we could exude. So with this full moon, ask yourself, what do I love? What's my passion? What's my deepest desire? What makes me happy? What makes me happy? And then look at your physical, tangible calendar and say, how can I make time for that? You know, I don't know. I had somebody say to me the other day, oh, in all my free time. And I was like, okay, so I want you to think about how often you scroll. And the only reason I can say that and not feel bad about it is because I have had to look at that. I don't have time for that. Really? You were scrolling for an hour. I do have time. right? So get super honest and clear with yourself. You don't have to tell anybody if you don't want to, right? I just told you, right? Like I caught myself scrolling for no reason. Now I put my phone in the other room when I go to bed. I can't. I just can't. Give yourself some space so that you can actually make time for the things that you love. So I'm just going to hold myself accountable and I'm going to say it right out loud. This is something I'm going to do this year. I'm going to take sailing lessons because I love being on the water. I don't know why, I just love it. So I'm holding myself accountable. I'm going to need your help. I don't want to be too busy. Find that thing that you don't want to be too busy for anymore, right? So if you want me to read your chart, please reach out to me, myastrocast.com. You can send me an email or just find it on my website, super easy, dana@danademara.com, or just go to my website. It's my full name, danademara.com. Thank you so much. You guys have such a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.